Now, before I get into what I'm about to get into, I just want to make sure that each and every one of you guys hit that like or dislike button, put some Coach K full court pressure on that notification bell so you can be notified each and every time I upload a video or go live on my YouTube channel. And once again, this is your boy E Thriller. Welcome back. Now, where do I start, man? The state of boxing is in a real shitty place because this past weekend we seen a good fight between Virgil Ortiz and Maurice Hooker, and as I predicted, I figured that Ortiz was going to win that fight because Maurice Hooker, he's a very talented guy. He has a great jab, he has long reach, but I don't like his footwork, and I felt like he was just going to try to start coming forward with that Mexican style type of offense that he loves to employ, which got him fucking caught against Ramirez. And at the end of the day, Ortiz exploited it. He exploited it. He backed him up on the ropes, caught him, and basically sent them to sleep experts. And then, in I believe, what was it, the seventh round, he came back and tried to rally back and hit him with a body shot. And I believe he broke his hand. So that was the end of the fight. But after the fight, Virgil Ortiz was asked who he wants to face next. And he said this. Give me 1 second to put this shit on the screen for y'all. Let me see where we at. All right, here we go. All right, wrote it.
You shared a moment there with Maurice Hooker. What did you say to each other?
With them power shots down to the body, and he just warmed down, and then eventually he folded. But make no mistake about it, would I love to see the fight? Absolutely, because who are we to say that this motherfucker ain't ready? If he's telling us that, hey, I want to go in here and dare to be great against one of, if not the best pound for pound fighters in the world, then who am I as a YouTuber / huge boxing diehard fan to say, you know what, he ain't ready? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. That would be unfair. And shout out to Dolomite in the chat. He said Spence better not get included in the new boxing game because he can't duck that smoke on there. Oh, man. Hey, man, we're going to get into that in just a second. But having said all of that, let's hear what Terence Crawford had to say about Virgil Ortiz calling him out.
Minute, Crawford. Who are you telling Virgil? You want him next?
No.
You said we couldn't hear what you were saying.
Virgil gotta work his way up. You know what I mean? Like, that fight ain't even ready yet. He's not ready.
From what we had seen, he's your mandatory now. He's not
my mandatory.
Not your mandatory.
No, Sean Porter my mandatory.
Right. Well, okay. Yeah, I had seen that with the victor, he was gonna leapfrog him, but. Champ, from what you saw his performance tonight, you feel like you can take him out easily.
Huh?
With his performance tonight, do you think you can take out Virgil Ortiz easily?
I don't fight easy. But if that fight was to happen, I would be victorious. Yes.
Well, hey guys, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say, and I do believe he'll be victorious as well. You can clearly see that Bud was just pretty annoyed with the lady that was asking those dumbass questions, and I don't blame him because if you're going to interview a fighter, then do your research. Know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't give a damn if you're a man or a woman. Know who the goddamn mandatory is, okay? And if you're going to go up to a guy that don't like being interviewed anyway, you better come correct, or else he's going to kind of brush you off the way that he just brushed her off. But one thing I did not like about what Bud just said, who is he to say that the dude isn't ready? Because last time I checked, he calling you out. So if you're not going to fight Sean Porter, then you're not going to fight Manny Pacquiao because, let's be honest, I don't believe that fight is going to ever fucking happen. Then why not give this young dude a shot? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that want to see this fight. And if you go in there and beat an Ortiz, hey, you might be at a disadvantage because you're never going to get the credit that you deserve anyway, from my personal opinion. When I listen to all these other YouTubers and these other boxing fans, the naysayers, the Terence Crawford and Bud haters, they are never going to give you your just due. And I get it. But at the same time, I don't want to hear that type of shit coming from your mouth. And not to mention, when he was asked about the possibility of going up against Errol Spence in the biggest fight that the sport of boxing has left to offer, he said this. No. Okay, here we go. All right, hold on. Let me remove that for y'all. Where is it? All right, let me take that off. All right. Let me add that. I'm still learning how to do this shit, y'all. So let me see. Remove that. It's not sure. All right. All right, here we go. All right, let's run that shit.
Expedite the approval.
Was in the fight? Think of the fight, Terence.
It was a good fight. Mo broke his hand. It was a good fight. Both of them did good.
Did you think Mo was in the fight?
Yeah, of course. Virgil was slowing down, as you can see. You know what I mean? But Mo got him caught with a couple of good, clean body shots that slowed him down. That, you know what I mean? Kind of.
How would a fight with you be? Your status.
Y'all all know that.
Terence, with your status, because of your status, a lot of people want to fight you, obviously.
Right.
How does that make you feel? Because this kid, he's a young kid, he wants you now instead of.
He really don't want me. That's just the thing. It's called for the fighters that's at the top right now. But, you know, he's doing his thing. He's doing what he's supposed to do. And I wish him nothing but the best.
Did he look good to you, though, Terence?
He looked like he was supposed to look.
Porter or Pacquiao next? Porter or Pacquiao next? So Spence is done. So you're done with Spence for right now. So Spence is not. So you don't think Spence will be this year, maybe next year?
Never.
Really? I say never. What about 154,
That's
Terence?
never going to happen.
What about 154?
So good.
You gonna go to 154 soon? Or?
I don't know.
You're looking good. Terence.
No, I just tell people keep working hard, keep doing what you're doing, and you know what I mean? Wish you nothing but the best. I don't got nothing negative to say about the dude. What you think will happen? Like, man, you always asking me these questions that you already know the answer.
Hey, what did you think of Estrada Sinisa with her switching? Looked like you out there in the co-main event, Sinisa.
Oh, man, she cold.
Were you impressed?
Hey, bud.
Thank you so much for
And
watching this video.
that was Terence
Make
Bud
sure
Crawford.
to subscribe
Hold on,
for
give me
more
1
videos
second to take the
of
shit
your
off. So yeah, that was Terence Bud Crawford basically saying that he doesn't see the fight with Errol Spence happening, man. Shout out to Dolomite in the chat once again. He said Crawford might as well get Ortiz out of the way because the Crawford ducking Ortiz narrative has already started. Yep. I mean, he might as well just go ahead and fight him a Porter next, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, because he clearly just said that he doesn't see the biggest fight in the sport of boxing happening. And I mean, it's so depressing, y'all, because when you really break this shit down, it's only a matter of 10%. That's what we are talking about. So, for example, if the fight was at 60-40 in Errol Spence's favor, then let's just say the fight was worth $10 million. Earl would get 6 and Bud would get 4. And let's also keep in mind that Bud had $1 million side bet with Errol Spence when they shook hands, whenever they met up and was popping their shit to one another, right? That's another $1 million in your bank account. I mean, if the man is going to be true to his word, right? So at the end of the day, I am just so sick and tired of all of this dismissiveness when it comes to the biggest fight in the sport of boxing from happening. Like, why do these guys continue to act like they don't want to acknowledge each other? They don't care if they fight each other. They say disrespectful shit to each other all the time on Twitter. But both of these guys end up in the same building yet again, and ain't nobody popping shit. Ain't nobody pulled up on each other. I mean, what in the fuck is going on with the sport of boxing, man? I mean, what is going on? And not only that, here was Errol Spence's response.
I ain't gonna say that. I'm just gonna say I think he did really well. Now, you know, the way he performed against Maurice Hooker, do you think he can also do that with facing Terence Crawford, taking him out maybe quicker or go out 12 rounds? That I don't know. I mean, I think that if you can't gauge the performance of Terence Crawford, I mean, against Maurice Hooker, and say that he can perform that way, we can just say that we hope that he's ready for that. What do you think of Virgil's performance?
It was good.
Yeah. Did you see any flaws in him coming into this fight, you know, throughout the fight?
I mean, he did good.
Errol, we're just a few miles away from the AT&T Stadium. It's going to take maybe 2 more years to make a fight happen between you and Virgil. You feel like you can fill up the stadium?
He can fill up good.
Fill up the stadium, the AT&T Stadium, if you face Virgil Ortiz Jr. down the line in a couple of years?
We'll see.
Hey, Terence Crawford's here. Did you get to speak with him?
Why?
About the fight. You know, we all want to see that. Against Terence Crawford.
They don't want to fight. It's going to happen, I guess. I don't know. But Virgil better do his thing against Terence Crawford.
Yeah, well, both came from the same gym, Bebedo's boxing gym.
Yeah,
You know, how proud are you of that? Because you both came in the same gym.
if I got proud of him, he did his thing, you know. I bet on Maurice win because I was too good, but I mean, Virgil want to fight. It is what it is. You know?
Wait a minute, y'all. Hold on. Errol Spence is a real fucking funny guy. Because did he just say when the reporter asked him, hey, have you talked to Terence Bud Crawford about making this fight? He said, why? Did I hear that correctly? Hold on. Let me rewind that shit back. Hold on.
I mean, he did good.
Errol, we're just a few miles away from the AT&T Stadium. It's going to take maybe 2 more years to make a fight happen between you and Virgil. You feel like you can fill up the stadium? You can fill up the stadium, the AT&T Stadium, if you face Virgil Ortiz Jr. down the line in a couple of years?
We'll see.
Hey, Terence Crawford, did you get to speak with him?
Wow.
Oh my God. See, this is the type of shit I'm talking about, y'all. This is the type of shit I'm talking about. And it's so frustrating, man, because us as fans, as the paying consumer who acknowledge the both of these guys' greatness, why in the fuck are they so dismissive? What in the hell would make Errol Spence say, why? What you mean, why? You don't see the rumblings on YouTube. You don't hear everybody talking about this on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter and beyond. You don't hear ESPN saying that this is the biggest fight of the sport of boxing that can be made. And you want to say why? Shout out to hold on. Let me go to these super chats, man. I'm just pissed off. What up, E-Thriller? What up, Lash Puma Skills, man? Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you for rocking with me this morning. I'm pissed off, bro. I don't know what else I can say. Dolomite said in the chat, well, Spence versus Crawford will end up being another Leonard versus Pryor. Facts. That's what it's looking like. That's exactly what it's looking like. Rubber Life Boxing. Shout out to you in the chat, bro. He said Errol Spence ain't even that big of a star like that to be trying to play big dog. Yeah, I mean, but his fans, man, and you know the fanboys is just put this dude on a pedestal to where he feels like he's bigger than Floyd. I mean, it is what it is. Shout out to Lash Puma Skills again. He said, I wish Porter pressed for the fight so Crawford can handle business. Absolutely. I don't know what's up with Sean Porter, man. Do you either want to fight or you want to be friends? Pick one. Pick one. Yeah, I mean, you can't have it both ways, bro. Especially if you're trying to feed your family. You can't have this shit both ways. It don't work that way. Dolomite said, Spence said, why? I mean, it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. I mean, at this point, I don't know if the dude is trolling. And to me, to be honest with you, not to try to shit on the dude or not to try to be funny, but correct me if I'm wrong or not, y'all. I'm just on the outside looking in because I wasn't at the fight. But correct me if I'm wrong or not. Errol Spence looked a bit inebriated right there. I mean, I just want to throw that out there. The man looked a little drunk. He looked a little tipsy. I hope he isn't drinking again, but I digress. Shout out to Rebel Life back in the chat again. He said, dude is back and forth with his energy. I'm thinking both of them are scared. I mean, at this point, bro, the dismissiveness. I mean, what is up with Bud? What is up with Bud? I mean, how can I defend this shit? I can't. So I'm with you. I'm starting to think that, hey, maybe these guys who claim that they wanted to become undisputed at 147 really didn't mean it after all. I mean, it is what it is, Rebel. And then Rebel said in the chat again, then Bud says he's moving on to bigger and better things. What bigger and better things? Absolutely. Can you give us some insight? Can you say, hey, maybe Manny Pacquiao is on the back burner? This Sean Porter deal I'm trying to get done? Or I'm going to move up to 154 and challenge Castano. Like, give us something. Give us something. And then you want to turn around and say that Virgil isn't ready. Well, who are you to say that? That's for Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions to say, not you. If they dumb enough to throw his young ass in the ring with you, then go in there and kick his ass. I mean, kick his ass. We ain't got time to be picking and choosing to say, oh, he ain't ready yet. He ain't big enough. Because let's be honest, y'all. Now that I'm thinking about it as I'm talking, didn't Errol Spence say the same shit about him? Didn't Sean Porter and Keith Thurman, when they were on top of the welterweight division, say the same thing about Terence Crawford? He wasn't ready. He ain't fought nobody. He didn't have a belt. Correct me if I'm wrong. Drop a comment below. Please let me know if I'm tripping. So I don't want to hear this type of shit coming from Terence Crawford's mouth because I am defending him for all of the fuck shit that Errol Spence has been pulling with him because he's basically doing what Keith Thurman did to Spence. So you're going to try to do the same thing in return to a Virgil Ortiz who's just trying to dare to be great. I mean, if he's capping, well, let's just see. Tell Oscar to get in contact with Bob Arum or Todd DeBuff, and let's make the fight happen. Who are you to say this dude ain't ready? Now, you can say you're going to fuck him up. I'm all for that. But don't give me, oh, he ain't ready. He need to keep building himself up. Fuck that. He's trying to prove himself against you, the #1 pound-for-pound king. Because you keep telling me, and every other Bud fan, and I'm a Bud fan, don't get this misconstrued. But the difference between me and these other YouTubers, I am going to call a spade a spade. If my guy is on some bullshit, then I'm going to pull his card. If another guy is on some bullshit, I'm going to pull their card. Nobody is safe on this channel, y'all. I'm not a fucking fanboy. I am a fan of boxing. Okay? And shout out to Latch Puma Skills in the chat. He said amateur boxing is more competitive now because they don't duck. They match the best up against the best. Hey, man, I totally agree. And I think I was talking to my wife about this shit yesterday because I was just so disappointed, y'all. I really was. So I'm just trying to find things to talk about on this channel outside of that fight because honestly, I'm getting to the point where I don't even give a fuck who these dudes fight no more. I mean, it's really getting that bad. It's getting to that point where I want to talk about some other shit, right? But now that you said that, Puma Skills, I'm thinking maybe boxing got to do something. I feel like it's way too many belts. It's the franchise belt, the WBC, the WBA, the WBO. I mean, if you're going to do all that, all right, cool. But why not? And this is my proposal to y'all. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping. Drop a comment below in the chat. Why not have a tournament like the Super 8 that the middleweight division had back in the day with Andre Ward and all them other dudes, right? I would love to see some shit like that because in the end of the day, the best or the cream of the crop is going to rise to the top, right? We're going to get the fight that needs to be made. Now, I think that happened whenever I think that title was vacated. I can't remember, honestly, off the top of my head, but why not start holding tournaments in the welterweight division or in boxing, period, just so these guys can't hide behind these fucking promotional companies and these fucking broadcast companies like ESPN, Fox, Showtime, FS1, the list goes on and on. What do you guys think about that? Shout out to Dolomite still in the chat. Crawford moving up to 154 is bigger and better things. I don't see Charlo playing the games that Spence is playing. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I would love that fight for that fight to happen. I think Terence Crawford has a hell of a shot to beat a Jermell Charlo, but it remains to be seen if that fight is going to happen because let's be honest, David Benavidez has been calling out Charlo for I don't know how long, and Charlo in return sent the contract to Triple G old ass. So I mean, all these dudes, man, all they do is just blow smoke. They wolf. I mean, they just Twitter box too much for me, man. These dudes want to be celebrities. They want to be rappers. They want to do everything but box. You understand what I'm saying? And shout out to Rebel Life still in the chat. He said, I'm making a video on Bud and what I think is his true intentions are at 147. Go ahead, bro. And if you haven't done so already, y'all go subscribe to my brother channel, Rebel Life Boxing. He's a very knowledgeable boxing analyst in his YouTube shit. One of the very few that I respect. Okay. And shout out to Latch Puma Skills. He said they should have a tournament. Yep. I agree. I think that's a hell of an idea, but do I think it's going to happen? No, because the sport of boxing is corrupt from its judges to the fucking promotional companies and dare I say the fighters. They don't want to take losses. They so scared to lose. I mean, everybody in today's generation is so scared to lose. It's the typical Floyd Mayweather effect. And the thing is, I don't get it because if you look at a guy like Sean Porter, right, who has lost each and every single big fight he's ever had, he continues to be one of the motherfucking well sought out fights for these fans because fans want to see him up against Bud, right? So Sean Porter lost 3 to 4 times. So ain't nobody saying, oh, his career is over. He ain't this, he ain't that, he trash. You understand what I'm saying? People, he's still in popular demand amongst the boxing community. So one loss isn't that bad, Bud. One loss isn't that fucking bad, Earl. You understand what I'm saying? And we all know there's going to be some sort of rematch clause in the contract, which whoever wins the first match can double back and dictate the terms in the second fight. I mean, this is a part of boxing, and I just don't get it. Shout out to David John in the chat. Salute to you, bro. He said, I would love a tournament. That would be awesome. But what will happen if certain fighters don't enter? I think that's a good question, bro. I feel like the WBC, the WBA, and the WBO should mandate these motherfuckers to join. You have to join or else you don't get a title shot. Or if you got the title, vacate it. You understand what I'm saying? We got to find some kind of way, man, for these dudes to stop strategically ducking the fucking smoke. Shout out to Lash Puma Skills. He said the younger generation is spoiled. They just don't want to work hard like the people back in the day. Times are changing. And I get it, man. I mean, they make more money than the dudes back in the day. But where's the grit? Where's the grind? Where's the love for your predecessors? Where's the love for the sport of boxing? Does any of these fighters care about their legacy nowadays? I mean, it just makes you wonder, man, because you had Bud that said this a while back, and let me bring this up on the channel. Give me 1 second, y'all, because shit like this, when you say shit like this and then you do something else, it kind of had your boy E Thriller confused. You know, I'm a bit perturbed. So let me see. Where is it? Okay, here we go. All right, let me roll this shit.
Welterweights in the division, y'all need to go ahead and pick up your belts and lock them up because Terence Crawford is now.
Okay,
I feel like,
let me fast forward.
Where are you at in your life and your career right now? How do you just feel as a whole?
I feel great, you know, but I feel like I still got a lot to accomplish. You know, I want to become undisputed. I want to at 147 for sure. That's the kind of thing that drives me, you know, to become undisputed. You know, 35, I couldn't become undisputed because of the politics that's going on right now. So, but all in all, I'm blessed and I'm happy how my career has gone so far. I accomplished a lot in the sport of boxing.
Are you frustrated when you hear Errol Spence after a fight say, I'm not worried about Terence Crawford. I'm going to fight this guy, and this guy, and then maybe him in a couple years?
Nah, really.
Come on, bud.
I wouldn't say I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated about the whole circle around it. Like, they can't say my name. That's when I get frustrated.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
they being PBC.
Right. It's like somebody coaching them to be like, don't mention him. Don't recognize him as a champion. So that's when I get frustrated. And that feeds me more to go in there and knock him off. And that's why I want to fight so bad, because I want to prove all the doubters. When I get a title, it's, oh, he's not fighting nobody. They pushing that down. I'm fighting the bums, but they not looking at. Jeff Horn was undefeated.
Crawford on the attack. That's it. It's over. It's over.
Benavidez, undefeated.
Is he the finisher they all expect him to be? He is.
I'm not picking guys that I'm like, oh, I don't want to fight tall guys, or I don't want to fight southpaws, or I don't want to fight slick fighters, or I don't want to fight brawlers. I'm taking them how they come, and I'm knocking them off. This guy that I'm about to fight right now, you know, Aegis, my mandatory. Everybody's on him in the media. Why? Because they don't know nothing about boxing. They say, oh, he's a bum. Well, how can you be a 2-time Olympian and be a bum?
Right. That's the curse of being a great fighter, though.
Right.
That's a hell of a point that Bud just made. But at the end of the day, man, listen, this fight is basically boiling down to both of these fighters doing their contract talks and negotiations through the public, through the media, and I don't get it. And we all know who is responsible for this fuck shit is Errol Spence, because last time I checked, and let me go back to this super chat. Hold on before I make my point. Shout out to Mundi Metali. I don't know if I'm saying your name wrong, bro. He said, is it true that Ugas want 50-50 with Spence? BT Spence won't take 50-50 with Bud. I'm not sure, bro. I think that's a rumor that's been floating around social media over the last couple of weeks or so. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything publicly from Ugas or Errol Spence as far as the contract negotiations, which I find to be extremely odd. You understand what I'm saying? Because why is it when it comes to Bud that everybody want to talk dollars, everybody want to talk pay-per-views, everybody want to talk salaries? But when it comes to all these other fighters, the energy is different. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. And shout out to Dolomite in the chat. He said, I'm going to keep saying it's gotten bad when you start missing Don King as a promoter. Oh, my God. That's a hell of a point. That's a hell of a point. At least Don King made fights. Like, goddamn. Shout out to Lash Puma Skills still in the chat. He said, I don't like the fact that they put Bud's negotiations on blast, but they don't do that to other fighters or boxers. If Bud can't sell, why do these fighters ask for a whole lot of money? I agree, bro. I agree. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't condone it. But then again, we know that this is another strategical way for them to say, hey, this fight ain't happening yet because he ain't big enough or he don't sell enough or he don't want to take 40% or 30% or 20%, whatever the case may be. But I just kind of find it odd that Errol Spence within that clip from the other night said, well, Virgil better do his thing against Bud. Well, why the fuck are you trying to hurry up and put Virgil up against Bud? Why don't you fight Bud? See, this is my thing with Errol Spence, man. He just double talks, and all these other dudes like to summarily dismiss or gloss over all the fuck shit that he says, but I'm not going to do it on my channel. I'm going to hold both of these motherfuckers accountable for the shit that comes out of their mouths. Okay? That's the difference between me and them. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's fair. I think it's fair to hold a man to his words. You understand what I'm saying? Because you told this man a long time ago, hey, you go get that strap from Jeff Horn, we can run it. The man went to go get the strap. He said, hey, what's up? Oh, man, I can go the easier route. I can make this fight happen with Sean Porter. I can knock him out. I'm going to face Danny, motherfucking Pacquiao, Keith Thurman. Like, you mentioned everybody but Bud. Why? Sport of boxing, man, it's just a fucking joke. And people wonder why the sport is on life support right now. It's because of bullshit like this, because the fans, us, the people that's on this shit every single day on YouTube, we don't get the fights we want to see. And then these boxers wonder why they don't have endorsements or they get lack of media coverage through the main media outlets of ESPN and Fox Sports, because y'all not fighting nobody. Y'all not fighting each other. Y'all waiting 10 to 12 years for these fights to materialize. And I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. But enough of my soapbox, man. I'm just sick of it, man. Because the sport is in a horrible space. But one thing good about the sport, I'm not sure if you guys heard this or not, but there's a new boxing game on the horizon. And we're going to watch this video. And let me see. Let me add this shit to the stream just so y'all can get a good feel of who is on this motherfucking video game, because I don't know about you guys, but I like to play games and I still play Fight Night to this day. You understand what I'm saying? So y'all already know I'm a big time boxing fan. I love boxing. I bleed it. But at the end of the day, man, a new boxing game would just serve. I mean, maybe we can make the fights happen on that motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? But hold on. Let me bring this shit up for y'all, man. Hold on. All right, where is it? All right, let's run it.
Bright lights, big city. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada, the fight capital of the world. What better place to splash onto the scene? Esports Boxing Club, the brand new boxing video game launching later this year. We are at the Venom World headquarters. My name is Todd Grisham. Not only am I the voice of ESBC, I'm also the vice president of business acquisitions. I'm signing so many fighters, you won't believe it. We have over 100 fighters signed to ESBC as of now, and we're adding new fighters each and every day. We'll talk more about those fighters in a minute. But right now, why don't we focus on the game itself? This is the first video game released on major consoles in over 10 years, and boy, will it deliver. 8K camera scans, the best graphics in fight game history. Look at the footwork, look at the flow, look at the motion, look at some of these knockouts. This is unparalleled in the history of fight sports video games. And how about the world's strongest man? He's a boxer now and will be in the game as well. No one's going to be able to hit harder than that guy. Much more coming next week on the ESBC game as we launch the first ever gameplay trailer for Esports Boxing Club on our social media. So the game looks cool, but you're wondering, which fighters do we have in the game? Well, I'm about to tell you. Here we go. One of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world today. They call him Bud.
I love it.
In the next
I love it.
video game, Terence Crawford, pound for pound, he will deliver a beatdown coming up later this year on Esports Boxing Club.
I love it.
And a man that owns a part of the 168 Super Middleweight Championship. You've seen him on PBC, Caleb Plant, who's hoping for a showdown later this year with Canelo Alvarez. And how about the clubhouse leader for the knockout of the year in 2021, Oscar Valdez, for what he did to Miguel Burchell, a fantastic virtuoso performance. He's now a 2-division world champion.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Oscar Valdez, Mexican fighter.
And I'm very excited for this new opportunity to be part of this new boxing boom, the ES Boxing Club. Everybody, tune in. It's going to be a great game.
And now to one of the greatest boxers to ever come out of the United Kingdom. Unbelievable hand speed. The former world champion and Olympic gold medalist, Amir Khan.
I think speed is 100% something which everyone knows I've got, you know, and I think my speed is probably more than 100% to think about it because, you know, I throw punches that people don't see. I throw punches that no one's ever seen the speed of. So, you know, when it comes to speed, I don't think that there's ever been anyone as quick as me. So I'm quite lucky to have that actual, you know, with the speed, but then I've got the movement. You know, I've got the stamina as well, which has to go with it because, you know, there's some fighters who will be quick in the first round. By the time the 10th or the 11th or the 12th round, they still slow down. But one thing about me, the speed's always there, you know. So, you know, it's there's good and bads.
King Khan.
One thing I know
I like it.
on my side is the speed.
I like it.
And how about this for timing? Coming up later tonight, live on DAZN, Virgil Ortiz Jr. with the biggest fight of his young career as he takes on Maurice Hooker and the hard-hitting Texan. Virgil Ortiz Jr. is in ESBC.
Nice.
How about the former undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, Alexander Usyk? He's soon to be perhaps the #1 contender for the heavyweight championship of the world and will fight either Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua. Let's keep it in Eastern Europe. How about Alexander Povetkin? The man who knocked
they
out
got everybody
Dillian
on
Whyte
this shit,
last year.
y'all.
In fact, it was the 2020 knockout of the year. Can he do it again? The rematch is coming up in a few weeks. Alexander Povetkin in Esports Boxing Club. Staying in the heavyweight division, how about English heavyweight Joe Joyce? His future is bright. It's sky high. He needs to work on those defensive skills, but he's got the powerful punch in Esports Boxing Club. And y'all must have forgot Roy Jones Jr.
Oh, man.
Baby, perhaps the greatest light heavyweight champion in the history of boxing. Former heavyweight champion Roy Jones Jr. RJJ in ESBC. And let's have a little fun. Who could forget Butterbean? The great Butterbean is in ESBC. Can't wait to see how his character turns out. This guy may be one of the strongest punchers we've got. Hey, we're just getting started here. I want to thank you for joining us on our ESBC Fighter Release Show. And speaking of show, how about Showtime? Sean Porter, the announcer for BBC, for NBC, and you know all about how dangerous he can be in the ring. Sean, talk to us, brother.
We've all been waiting on the boxing game for at least a decade now. It's finally here. You got legends, former champions, current world champions, anybody you want on the game. Anything you can want, you can make right here on this video game. I'm excited that ESBC is bringing it to you guys really, really soon. Don't miss it.
Hey, man, this game look like it's off the chain, y'all. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But, yeah, I ain't going to play the whole video because it's kind of lengthy. So let me find this photo. All the fighters real quick. Let me see. But, yeah, man, I can't wait till that shit come out because I'm going to be on that shit like crack, y'all. But just to let y'all know, hold on. Where that shit at? I tweeted Andre Ward. Let me see. Hold on. Damn, I can't find that picture. I don't know where that shit went. But yeah, I tweeted at Andre Ward. Here you go, right here, y'all. So y'all can see who all on here real quick. Let me remove that. Stop share. All right. Application. All right, so here's a list of all the fighters that's on here. Some of the notable names, you got Mickey Ward, Arturo Gotti, Juan Manuel Marquez, Desert Storm, and Timothy Bradley, Ricky Haddon, Sergio Martinez, Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, Joe Lewis, Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey, Floyd Patterson, Butterbean, Sugar Ray Robinson, the great Sugar Ray Robinson. It's being reported that Sugar Ray Leonard is also on the game, and I got breaking news for y'all too because his name is not on this list, but like I was saying earlier, I tweeted at Andre Ward because Andre Ward is probably my 4th favorite boxer of all time. So I tweeted at him like, hey, you know, basically like, are you on the game? And he was like, yeah, he liked my tweet. So I'm going to take that as He on this goddamn game, y'all. So I think the remaining list of the fighters are going to be announced 2 weeks from now. So we'll see how that all plays out. But let me get back to this super chat. Let me see. Mike Tyson's punch out. Hey man, I'm too young to remember that game. I played it a little bit, but I wasn't that skilled on it. Shout out to V Central in the chat. He said, I'm late. What I miss? Man, we was just talking about the state of boxing. Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, the shit that happened this past weekend. I also talked about the Virgil Ortiz versus Maurice Hooker bout. And then I talked about the potential bout between Virgil Ortiz and Terence Bud Crawford. So yeah, if you can, just go back and check it out once this show ends. Shout out to Soul Rebel Boxing. He said, we want this fight more than they do. Crawford is moving on for good reason. Crawford knows Spence does not want smoke. What happened to unifying the titles? Hey man, I agree, man. It just seems like the dude energy changed once Terence Bud Crawford got that strap. I mean, he's just switched up on us. It is what it is. Maybe he's doing this because he's scared of him. I think so. And I also think he's doing this from a business perspective because let's be honest, this is the PBC way of doing things. He is the biggest cash cow now that Deontay Wilder has lost on PBC, and Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather and those dudes and Leonard Ellerby are going to protect Errol Spence at all costs. And because if anybody knows that Errol Spence isn't on the same level as a Terence Bud Crawford, who would that be? I'll wait. I'll fucking wait. That would be Floyd Money Mayweather, who has said it on multiple occasions that Terence Crawford is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He said it. Go look it up on ESPN. He said it multiple times. Shout out to Soul Rebel Boxing again. He said Errol Spence was drunk as a skunk last night with his spineless trainer right there beside him. Yep, I agree. I said it earlier. I felt like he was a little bit inebriated. He looked like he was a little lit. I'm not sure if it was marijuana or I don't know. But the dude didn't look right, and he wasn't really responding well to the questions. But we've seen this before, and I just hope to God that the man doesn't. Man, let me just stop. But see, this is the thing with this fight, man. We are potentially running the risk of this fight not happening because of what? Two guys' egos. Both of them are nonchalant. Both of them are dismissive of the shit. And then also, who's to say that these dudes are going to remain undefeated? Because last time I checked, if you guys don't remember the build up to the Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight that took what God knows how long to make, Pacquiao ended up going to sleep by Juan Manuel Marquez, right? So that kind of took some of the luster out of the Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao fight because of what? One of them lost. No difference than Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Anthony Joshua ended up getting knocked out. You understand what I'm saying? And then, you know, Deontay Wilder has taken a loss. So they're fighting and lost luster. Like, man, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I'm disappointed. I'm disgusted. Maybe this fight is going to happen, but by the looks of things, I don't think so. Because both of these dudes are head stubborn, very money driven, obviously, because Terence Crawford is hell bent on getting that extra 10%, and so is Errol Spence. And I respect both of their positions, but at the end of the day, I'm a fan. I can give a fuck what they make. You understand what I'm saying? I just want to see the fight because at the end of the day, we are going to be solely responsible for paying for this bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just taking so long, man, to the point where I'm getting turned off. I don't know if I'm going to make any more videos about this shit because honestly, I'm tired of talking about why the fight isn't happening because I would much rather be talking about when the fight happens, who is going to win, and why. I want to make predictions. I don't want to make assumptions about why this nigga ain't fighting this dude or what's the holdup. Like, I'm so sick and tired of this. And shout out to Light Lit Up. He said exactly. Spence is being protected by PBC since he's their cash cow now that Wilder got fucked up by Fury. PBC is even paying off some of the bigger YouTube channels to help dead the bug. I mean, hey, man, I really don't like talking about the other dudes on my channel because I don't want to come off as being a hater or I'm clout chasing because, to be honest with you, I don't think none of them dudes can fuck with me in a debate or as far as content, personality, knowledge, none of the above, to be honest with you, Light Up. But you make a very valid point. Now, I listen to the dudes because I'm going to always scope out my competition. You understand what I'm saying? But do I agree with the shit that they spew out or the false narratives or the fake stories about Terence Bud Crawford? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I would love to go on one of their platforms, or they can come on mine in debate, you understand, about the bullshit that they pull, because I don't have a problem with them calling out Bud. But my problem is this: hold that same energy for Spence, because Spence does and says a lot of bullshit way more than Terence Bud Crawford do. And that is my job, and that's what I try to focus on my page. I try to be fair, and I try to hold both of them to the same standard. Shout out to Central in the chat. He said the new game is about to be crazy. Hey, bro, I cannot wait. Hopefully they add some bigger names. Who would y'all like to see on there? I want to see Big Canelo on there. I want to see Hector Camacho, Sweet Pea, Zab, AB. I know Regis Prograde is on there, I believe. It's a lot of dudes. Of course, Manny Pacquiao. Of course, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, rest in peace. It's a lot of dudes I want on that game, man. They said that they're going to be adding fighters, you know, as the year go along. So all I'm waiting on is the fucking release date, and I'm in there like swimwear. But I want to shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me this morning. I got to head up on out of here because I got to clock in, get this bread. But I'll be back on another time, on another date, on the same fucking channel. Once again, this is your boy E Thriller. I'm gone. Holla.